Okay, YouTube land, what's good? This is your host from the Gulf Coast doing the most. Donte.
And Shellie.
We are the yin and yang of Short-Term Rentals podcast. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. Animal noises.
Darn fools.
And cut.
Well, look who made it back. Yo, thank you for supporting the channel. We got a bunch of episodes filled with info on how we host, funny guest story with your boy Tay, current news with Shellie, and special guest appearances. Also feature some local music artists for the outro, so make sure you stick around to the end, my friend, and peep all the links in the description. Dropping gems. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Baby, we back for part 2. You ready? We're going to jump right back in. Here we go.
So she finally finished the room, and I went over there, shot some content, did some pictures, posted it.
It was not finished, by the way.
Oh, it wasn't?
That's how much she loved it. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you will literally see the pictures leaning.
I thought that was on purpose.
Oh my God.
See, y'all don't want me decorating nothing, okay?
I mean, it still look good, but I remember when I first saw it, I was like, oh, it's not. And I didn't tell you, I was mad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was mad when I first saw it.
I am so sorry.
I was like, she was supposed to be getting the in-between stage and then come put it out there when it's done. It's not done. So I was upset.
So then this is hilarious. That explains why you were so excited when this happened. Okay, so we post the picture, the static post on Instagram. And I get the notification, it's a blue check mark. Sometimes I don't even get excited about that because people be buying their blue check mark. So I was like,
Facts, yeah.
let me Google this name. So I go straight to Dr. Google and I'm like, oh, hold up. Oh, this lady done been in some design magazines, HDTV. So basically this well-known interior designer liked the photo.
Oh, we saying her name.
Miss Chamblin, she liked the photo. So immediately when I got off Google, I went to her social media to cross-reference, like, okay, let me see if this is a legit page. I was like, oh, okay. So you've been in Architecture Digest, HDTV, you do makeovers, you have a booming social media. Okay. And so I text Shellie, I'm like, oh my gosh. I always send her a screenshot. I send her the screenshot, pull up, send her what I found on Google. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And I'm like, I told you that room it's just something about that Duke's Quarters room. Yeah. It's just beautiful. But like, this makes it even more funny because to an untrained eye, I didn't even realize that the room wasn't done. So her name is Kay Chamblin Interior Design. So she has her own interior design company.
And shout out Kay Chamblin.
Kay Chamblin, yes.
Appreciate your support.
Yes,
for sure.
And why that's so fantastic is so me and Shellie, we've been working together for about 2 months. So she says she had about 4 followers. Caitlin Chamblin.
The K is for Caitlin.
Caitlin Chamblin. It's
Kay Chamblin. The K is for Caitlin.
So this was high praise because me and Shellie, we've only been working together for about 2 months now.
Wow,
I think it's only 2 months.
Man.
I'm still in my initial.
I know. That's the funny thing because I've been doing my hosting since January. So I'm like 10 months in, almost 11 now.
Yeah.
And Shellie is like, I always look at her as being like more seasoned and like my senior in the space. And she's like 4 months in.
Man, listen, we came in at the right time.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, because remember, you came in during the slow season. Poor little Donte like him in 2 months.
I was struggling my face for 2 months.
Like we came in the summer and just kind of took off.
Yeah, but no, that's awesome. I mean, you're about to say about the followers, how they went from 3 to...
So we've only been working together for about 2 months. Kay Chamblin comes and likes the photo, and her following now is at, well, over the weekend it's picked up. We're at like 167.
Which is, you know, some people will be like, oh, that's not a lot. But if you look at the percentage that it jumped from,
right,
that's huge. And that's something when you're a business person, you look at the percentage has a lot more value than an actual number, because that shows, you know, you multiply that by another number and you're like, this is a great return on the investment. Like, all it takes is one person to really like do a booking through that or whatever. So you are already getting immediate value from just working with Sarah, and it's like awesome to see. That's awesome.
And you know, it was, I mean, again, one of my first things was, I will say this. So I definitely was stepping outside the box with the whole social media thing. Cause again, I didn't even have a thing.
We know.
So I made the wrong kind of Facebook page. I didn't even do that right.
But you learn.
Yeah, you know.
Right. Then I did the Instagram and I had maybe 3, maybe 4 followers, right? Yeah, fam. For the most part. Some of them didn't even follow. And so she really did. She took it in with her, you know, doing what she was doing. There were then so many people who were like, oh my God, I saw your play. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Now, these are people who I had already sent a link to it saying, hey, you know, we've done an Airbnb, if you know anybody, But what she did was, again, put it in people's face in a way that, one, made them feel like they were walking through there. Yeah. Like the first one I had her do was just like very fast, boo, 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 boo. And I got a lot of people who was like, slow it down. I can't really see. Listen, you need to book. Right.
You want a private tour? You got a book. Okay.
But I did tell her, I was like, that was a lot of feedback. Like, it's so fast. I actually asked her for that. I wanted that. I wanted it to be boom, 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 just really quick glances. And so then from there, she would, oh my gosh, when she decided to do a room at a time showing her transformations, that became like a favorite.
Oh my gosh, yes. And as a matter of fact, like that's like the biggest thing that number-wise that we see people show interest in. Like, wow, I can't believe this became that.
I mean, even in the real estate investing stuff that I do as well, when you flip a house and you show what it was before, it's because it becomes like a story that the person who's watching gets to be. It's like watching a kid grow.
Right.
You know? So for them, it's like it gets more emotional because they understand that this is like was not easy.
Right.
This just took time. This took energy. And it wasn't like, oh, it just flipped a switch. It's like, wow, like I can tell you put a lot into this. And then I think it adds another layer of appreciation. So I think that's a good social media thing that people who don't use it need to be aware of. Is like, hey, if you're about to start a project in an Airbnb or rental your hosting and all those things, take the pictures of before, have someone hired to do that before you do anything. And as you're hearing Sarah talk about, those posts, putting that in content, putting it online, could really suck people in to what you got, and it makes them even more part of it. So then they're more likely to either book it or refer to someone else.
Yeah.
Because they know you're investing into it. They know you care about it.
And that is really the feedback that I personally would hear with the ones where she actually was like, this is how it looked. And then this was it in the middle. And this is it. Because she literally created videos of that. And people were really like, we got everything from, hey, who did your floors?
Yeah.
To, hey, and I had people who was like, oh my God, I didn't, you put a lot into your Airbnb. You put a lot into it. You got to be careful about who you let come in there. Like even other people have like taken that ownership. Like I value, like it wasn't just a house and you walked in and put in furniture.
Right.
Yeah. We did. We renovated the entire kitchen.
Yeah.
It looks
like a different house.
Every room in that house.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm trying to think of, is there a room, the garage? That might be the only thing.
Which for now.
Yeah.
I've got plans to do that. Yeah, that's phase 2.
Yeah.
So, even the backyard.
Yes. So I go back there one day to shoot some content, and she's like, "What you need to go in the backyard for?" I'm like, "I'm, trying to do my thing."
Because people go in backyards,
Yes.
Shellie. That's
I'm
why.
trying to do my thing.
Is the backyard off limits?
People sit back here. They need to see it.
Oh, you were a kid. Like, why y'all backyard?
Literally, and
Don't get hurt.
she's like, "What you see back here?" I'm like, "This is a beautiful space. Like, we need to showcase it." She's like, "There is no furniture back here." I'm like, "No, people want to see this." And she does have furniture back there. First of all, she has this amazing grill, and then she has this cute little table that's perfect for like sipping coffee or tea or whatever.
Right.
And I started taking pics of this table. She's like, I don't know. There's nothing on it. I'm like, no, it's really gonna work. So I'm like, just trust me. So I get home, I edit the pics, I send her the before and after. She's like, girl, you did your thing. And I started implementing those photos in our marketing flyers, and people really have liked that simple,
Yeah.
undressed up photo, because it is what it is. But I feel like it sparks something in, when they're looking for a quaint, cozy space, like, oh, I could picture myself out there,
And I definitely, because I am really not an outdoorsy person,
Yeah.
I really underestimated.
see the value.
No, I really didn't. So isn't that a
she was
turn
ready
of
to do a
events?
makeover that night. She was like, oh, we need to do some lights out here. We need it. I'm like, tonight? Tonight? She's like, yes, tonight.
And that's another thing that, social media managers like Sarah bring to a business, because they're aware of value that maybe some business owners don't see.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, this is an area that needs to get highlighted.
Right. And I felt like it wasn't significant enough to be highlighted. I mean, obviously there are chairs out there. There's a rug, there's a grill, like she said, da-da-da. And there are the lights out there. But I just felt like it was insignificant compared to the rest of the interior of the space. And so I just really didn't feel like it matched.
Because you're an indorser.
I'm an indorser, but I just didn't feel like it matched the rest of the, the interior is very
You're like, this is
elevated.
luxurious.
It's very
the
luxurious.
kingdom.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't feel like the outside really, I didn't feel like it was there.
I'm so curious to see if you're going to try to queenify the outside.
Well, I mean, that's who I am.
Corn.
Right? But yeah, and she gave me some great ideas even. And that's why I said, Sarah, I mean, you could find someone else to do social media, right? Yeah, other people do it and da-da-da.
We got our favorites, but we're supporting all social media.
Yeah, we support all.
Yes.
But again, she really becomes like your partner.
Right.
And it's
I've gotten that feel from the moment I saw you guys around. So I'm like, oh, I feel like she's a part of the business.
right, right. And I know that's not just
Right,
me.
right.
I know. And this was her first forte into short-term rentals.
Yeah.
And just came in killing the game.
Yeah.
And so much so that other businesses were coming to me saying, hey, I want to use her. Hey, I want to use her. And so I was like,
go.
Yeah.
and
Referrals.
but I'm gonna tell something funny. So I'm on this group and they're asking about social media. Do you know somebody who could do social media and this is specific for Airbnb hosts. And so y'all know I know a lot about social media. So, but I was like, okay, I could tag her, and I'm like, okay, so she's on Instagram, but I don't know if she's on Facebook. So I sent her a message because she's out of town. I'm like, hey, do you have a Facebook page? Because people are asking, I want to try to tag you. And she's like, no. And I'm like, this is what you do.
I know. It's honestly, I'm going to be 100% transparent. Like, even though I used to be on social media very heavily, took a hiatus, and now that I have my business, again, that requires me to be online, I'm like,
personally, you're like,
I would just rather my results speak for myself. Do I really need to be on there? But yes.
Yeah, because I couldn't even tag you. So I was like, oh, and so she's like, okay, I'll put something together. So I'm like literally waiting. This is how much of a geek I am. I'm thinking she's like doing it right now. I'm waiting.
she texted me, done yet? Done yet?
I think it was like 2 days later.
Yeah, I fell asleep because I literally fell asleep waiting to get a response back. And here she comes 2-3 days later. She's like, okay. I'm like, man, I can't even find that conversation.
And I wrote back the crying, laughing emoji. I said, my bad. My bad.
And I really did go look.
Please
like,
govern
man,
yourself
shoot,
for the
I
church
can't even find this at this point.
We'd like
I
for
was
you
like,
to hit the
whatever.
like
It'll come
It
back
helps us with
around
the
and we'll be
algorithm,
ready.
Yes.
especially for a new channel like us. And Donte's experienced a lot of rejection, so he needs some likes in his life.
Somebody like me, please.
Also, please subscribe. Hit the notification button so you'll know when something new drops. Our giveaways are specific to our subscribers, so please subscribe so you can participate.
And ask us some questions. Leave us some comments.
Don't forget to share, because sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
So I love the story. I mean, honestly, it's cool to see this growth happening with you, Sarah. One of the things I really want to touch, because I don't even know we're on time, but I'm enjoying the conversation. But you saw a lack in this area, and this is something where I feel like a lot of people see things, and no, not a lot of people will take action. So I commend you for like taking action and providing the thing that you thought there was lack in. And you found something that it was passion to you that you also lacked, so it was like a win-win. You're doing something you love, and people are getting a service that we probably need in this area. So, like, why do you think there is a lack in our area in this service?
I'm going to be honest with you, because we live in a small town.
Yeah.
And so when you go to bigger cities, it's not abnormal to see people filming themselves in public, eating their food or walking through the store doing try-ons in the big city. You see it in the airports. I was just in Tampa. Mm-hmm. If my dad drove me to downtown, there's people out there with the tripods and doing TikToks.
Oh man, when I was living in Austin last year, there was a guy who did bookings for me for my gigs. He also was like a social media poster for the local eat spots in Austin. So he was posting that all the time. And I was just like, and there was multiple people doing this. This was a regular thing. I go onto these Austin feeds and try to get familiar with the city. A bunch of people, just people who are doing gigs and then also do this on the side and they offer this marketing because they're like, I'm already out here eating it. I like eating it. It's like, why don't I just do this? It benefits them, benefits me. It's super convenient for people who are used to being on their phones all the time, and we got good cameras. Like, for the right person, it makes sense.
Right.
So it's like, you're on social media, why not like make it productive and make it a win-win for two parties?
And that's always been, even when I was doing it, as a blogger, I always said, if I'm going to be online, I want to put something positive out there, that makes people feel good, that is helpful, not just adding to the clutter.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when people are like, social media is such a negative space, I take that as, well, maybe your social media is a negative space.
Your feed
is negative.
attracted to that.
But it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that negative experience. But going back to your question, like, why is it a lack? I honestly think it's because it's underexposure to content creation. And because we live in a small town, it's unfamiliar to people.
And that is such.
And I really want to add to that, sorry to cut you off, because I think there's also another reason, and it's kind of more because of where we are in Florida specifically, it's the age.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Military town, retired town.
This is a very like traditional area.
Yes.
It's an older demographic. Like people are just, they didn't grow up doing these things. So, and then the younger population, I mean, a lot of the youth will go away.
Right.
This area is really for people who have already done a lot of stuff and want to just like chill and relax.
Yeah,
so all the people who are like active and trying to like a lot of times they'll just find other cities to go to, like,
Yeah.
you know, me and other people. So I think that's a big reason for it. And when I came back here, it like also really had an effect on me. I was like, man, there's so many things we could utilize here that people don't really know the value because they haven't seen it. Like if you go to CD, you see
that.
you see the positive end. You just don't see, but you don't know it took time.
Yeah.
You just already go to Atlanta, you go to Austin, Tampa, and you just see, oh, these people got mountain followers, they're making money, these businesses. But it all starts from people like Sarah,
Right.
who are doing it and build the value. I mean, you have to be like a pioneer when you're in an area like this in a small town. You have to be the first, and it takes time. But then after a while, you can really dominate the space because there's not a lot of competition. So there's a lot of opportunity.
And that's a good point too. And again, being someone who just like really didn't know a lot about it, one of the things she did, she was really good with setting the expectation for me. And she said, listen, I know you hear about stuff where people, oh, they went viral.
Yeah.
They went viral.
We don't shoot for viral.
And that's what she shared. She's like, so tell them why that is not the most beneficial for a Airbnb business.
So going viral, it's nice, but it's not the goal because that's short term. So usually what happens when someone goes viral online, they have a random moment or something they recorded, it shoots off to multiple social media platforms and it stays there forever. They may gain a grand following, but then it plummets because the connection is only there for a short amount of time.
Right.
Because basically you just showed your best trick out of your hat.
Yeah.
And your people that followed you are not engaged consistently.
They didn't love you or your business. They loved the trick.
Right.
You know?
Now,
comedians go through that a lot. Like they'll like a joke, but it's like to make a career, to make a business, you have to have like a real connection, like you're referring to.
Exactly. Now, I have seen where people have been working at their craft online for years and years. Because, by the way, fast growth is okay, but the growth that matters is over time, over a period of time. So, like these big names that you see out there, they've been doing it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Monet. She was just on the Forbes list. She's been doing her influencer thing, content creation thing since she was in high school. She went to college, has a nursing degree, and she just was able to hit $1 million status.
And how many years was that?
That she's just now 25 or 26.
So, I mean, that's maybe
10 years.
10 years.
19, yeah.
And now she's on the Forbes list. Other doors have been opening for her. She was just with Pat McGrath, makeup artist, makeup creator. But I say that to say, so you can have someone that's building on their craft for years and years and years and years. They might hit a lick, go viral, and then that does bring their target audience in. And they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know.
Where you been?
Where have you been? I love this
Right.
video. I love your content. And then they can build a community from that because they've already had that established platform, even though it didn't have that amount of visibility. So that kind of viral is good if you've already been building on something. But if you just post with the intent of going viral, it's not going to be successful because it's just going to plummet unless you can keep the attention of what you gained for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense. I mean, the businesses that I watch, it took a long time for them, but when they have like, you know, Apple's a company that a lot of people look at as kind of having a good model. It took a long time for them to find the right product, right service that connects, but they were working for years. And then like that iPhone came out, you know, and they go, oh, people like it, it hits. But then people go back and look at the other products. They already have a system that's polished. They already have good people who are working with them. And then they have this track record people go back to and say, oh, this is actually a good company.
What's cracking me up is you're like the iPhone. And I'm cracking up because before iPhone, as I date myself, iPod.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably the first pop.
And the Mac was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never had a Mac, so.
And the one that flipped up And blackberries too.
Oh, that's right.
The
Forgot about
blackberries.
blackberries. Remember blackberries?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. You're thinking about me, blackberry, right? But no.
Really, the
one.
fruit. You know, but,
Wrong
hey.
one.
So-
But no, yeah. So yeah, I forgot. They did do so. Apple has been really a pioneer because that's why he was pissed off at Bill Gates because he's like, you stole it. You know? So they had this horrible little thing.
Oh yeah,
Because he felt like, you know, I think they were two great minds that just did not respect each other. But
yeah, it's just a little competitiveness. But yeah, so like
yeah, but they've been killing it with great ideas and great products, like you said, for a long time.
right.
And I think your generation is like, oh, the iPhone.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
that-
cracking me up that that's
Yes.
what you said.
So like that's it's very representative of how people will think.
Yeah.
But when the real people who they'll go back into your catalog. That's how I always put it, and be like an artist who has a nice song. You check out their catalog, and if they're a really good artist, the catalog will solidify.
Prince.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, a first time fan to becoming a lifelong fan.
Exactly.
And I know, so I definitely love the way you're building. We're here to support always. So that's why we wanted to have you on. Just because, you know, the time is getting tight, even though we could do this all day. I already know. We'll probably talk a little bit afterwards. But if you have to give like an elevator pitch of some sort to other businesses in the area who might benefit from your service, go ahead and let them know what you do and why they should work with you.
Well, actually, I want to ask you specifically, because again, we're Airbnbers.
Yeah.
So specifically, what types of strategies work for Airbnb on
great
social
question.
media?
So specifically, the strategies that work best for Airbnbs on social media is planning out what you're going to post and what you want to show. Doing that in advance is you're going to see the return from your community, whoever is seeing your content. You're able to control the story. You're able to show what you want to feature in your Airbnb specifically. And then B, with you planning out what you want to share, it allows you to be consistent and to show up for your potential customer, your potential booker. Mm-hmm. Secondly, definitely connecting with other Airbnbers on social media. The strategy to do that is go to their social pages, engage with their social pages, leave comments on their social pages, check out their Airbnb. And then eventually, whenever you build that bridge with them, they will do the same for you, but that opens up the pool for other people who are travelers to come and check out your Airbnb social media space. And then specifically, just be consistent with what you're posting. Definitely always show if you're running a special, if you have special features, like if you have a jacuzzi or if you have an ice dunking pool, I don't know. Definitely show those features and be consistent and use all of the features that your social media space has. So if you're on Instagram, utilize stories, utilize reels, utilize static posting. We're not going to talk about hashtags, but you want to utilize all those free tools that are in your social media space. So planning, building community with other Airbnbers, even if it is in your area, and then being consistent with what you're posting and what you're sharing. And if you need some assistance, consultations, or if you want someone to management, look me up.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I will say one thing about because I think some people would be nervous about, well, that would be my competition. So why would I want to do that? But I will give an example of something that happened with me where I had someone who wanted to book for Thanksgiving weekend. And then I had another person who wanted to book for
Thanksgiving weekend.
Oh.
And
you said y'all got a sword fight to the death.
no,
Winner take a
what I actually did was I said, okay, well these people, because mine is a big space, right? So 4 bedrooms, 5 beds,
So you split the house in 2, right?
I did not. But what I did was I said, okay, well, this is just a couple, right? It's just husband and wife couple. They really only need 1 room. This is, kind of a family, right? Grandma, kids and parents and uncles and right. So they need multiple rooms in a space. So what I was able to do was reach out to someone else and I said, hey, do you have a booking for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I see where you're going.
And so instead of just being like, Sherry, I can't help you, I was able to say, hey, you know what? Here's a great space. Here is one. It is in the same area. It is boo, 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 boo.
Yeah.
And for that couple who really only needed a room with a private bath, that person did their master bedroom and bathroom. They had a separate entrance. So, hey, here's a space that can work for you all. And then it was a win-win. And so it was not a sword fight. It was not
I was hoping you were going to say a bidding war, but I feel like that was a way better solution to the problem that you presented. And, the couple probably saved a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
something smart.
I think there will be benefits if there are situations like that where everybody wins.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Great point. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
We are going to have a link
Yes.
to her Instagram
And to her new Facebook that she read.
Yeah.
I'm working on a website, so
Website
I'll have that
coming soon.
Soon, yeah.
And probably by the time this drops, we'll have that on there.
What's your IG handle?
So my IG handle is social. Hold on, I am so sorry.
It's all right. That's because this ain't live, so it's all good.
social.butterfly_media.
There we go.
Social.
And we're going to have it in the description for the folks who are going to go to the channel, and you'll be able to hyperlink to it. But yeah, Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I just want to say this podcast popping.
It's
okay, popping. I'm excited to be a guest. I'm excited to listen. So like they said, like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Woo! Woo! All right. So thanks again, Social Butterfly.
You're welcome.
Love y'all, man. Till next time.
Peace. Hey.
That's on my Hispanic community. Mi hermanos, mi familia.
Familia.
My dearest woman, this old house is damned to hell. Let it go too long without a care. Let's put some work into it, won't take long, it's overdue. Make this old house like new again. Paint started peeling off the walls 3